Iran's state media confirmed that Major General Hossein Salami, commander of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, was killed in an Israeli airstrike on 13th of June. Tasnim news agency reports that Major General Salami, head of the IRGC, fell in Israel's attack on IRGC headquarters. According to the Times of Israel, the IRGC has long been a pillar of power in Iran, playing a vital role in controlling the country's ballistic missile arsenal. Along with General Salami, Israel claims Iran's chief of the general staff, Mohammad Bagheri, was also killed. Bagheri has led Iran's armed forces since 2016 and is considered the architect of the nation's missile program. General Salami joined the IRGC during the Iran-Iraq War and has held many senior posts. Just a day before his death, he warned that any Israeli military action would meet a harsher, more painful response than the region had ever known. Alongside the top commanders, many other key military figures and nuclear scientists are believed killed in Israel's opening strikes on Tehran. Iranian sources say Major General Gholam Ali Rashid, commander of the Khatam al-Anbiya complex in Tehran, was eliminated in the attack. Dr. Fareydun Abbasi, former head of the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, is also reported dead. The IDF's preemptive attack on the morning of 13th of June against Iranian military and nuclear targets marks a serious escalation. The IDF says the operation's first phase is complete and that it is ready for heavy Iranian retaliation. CNN on 13th of June reported Israel's prime minister had confirmed strikes on Iranian nuclear targets and said the campaign would last for days. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced Operation Rising Lion, aimed at removing the Iranian threat to Israel's existence. For decades, Tehran has openly called for Israel's destruction. Netanyahu also accused Iran of pursuing nuclear weapons and warned Tehran could build a bomb if not stopped. "We struck the heart of Iran's nuclear program," he said. "We hit Natanz, the main uranium enrichment facility. We hit the scientists building Iran's bomb. We hit the center of its ballistic missile program." He added, "By defending ourselves, we protect others. We protect our Arab neighbors." Netanyahu thanked U.S. President Donald Trump for his firm stance, recalling Trump's pledge that Iran must never obtain nuclear weapons. Addressing Iranians, he said, "We don't hate you. You are not our enemy. When you are free, Israelis and Iranians will again be allies." He promised a future of prosperity and peace, but warned of difficult days ahead. Meanwhile, Iran International reports that on 13th of June, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant declared a nationwide special emergency warning of an imminent missile and drone attack on Israel after its preemptive strikes on Iran. Gallant said such an attack on Israeli civilians was expected soon. The IDF stated that dozens of targets tied to Iran's nuclear program were under Israeli Air Force attack. The campaign is dubbed Nation of the Lion. Explosions were heard in Tehran. A senior Israeli official told Iran International that the homes of top Iranian military and political leaders were targeted. Civilians were not intended targets. Tehran's Imam Khomeini Airport canceled all flights and Iran closed its airspace. At least 60 Palestinians in Gaza were killed in Israeli strikes and gunfire on 11th June, most near an aid site. The IDF said it had fired warning shots at suspects in the Netzarim corridor, a declared combat zone. NBC and CBS reported Israel was moving ahead with a long-planned strike on Iran. Hours earlier on 11th June, Washington said it might evacuate non-essential staff from Middle East missions amid rising tensions. Prime Minister Netanyahu told Israelis the IDF had targeted Natanz and that the campaign would last as long as necessary. An anonymous Israeli official said Iran now has enough material for roughly 15 nuclear bombs, one reason for the strike. Israel's Security Cabinet met through the night before the attack, calling Iran's nuclear program an existential threat. The IDF said Stage 1 of the air campaign, striking dozens of military and nuclear targets nationwide, was complete. The IDF added it had prepared extensively both at the front and at home. Iran suspended all flights at Imam Khomeini Airport. Iranian media reported fires in Tehran residential areas. State TV said air defenses were on full alert amid explosions in northern Tehran. A senior Iranian security official said on 12th of June that Iran was at top readiness and vowed swift retaliation to any U.S. or Israeli aggression. He cited Iran's new 2-ton warhead missile, warning Iran could launch a deadly preemptive strike. Early on 13th of June, multiple explosions shook Tehran. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said Israeli jets had struck Iran, raising fears of a wider war. Iranian media reported IRGC commander Rashid Chief of Staff Bagheri and top nuclear scientists were killed. Israel confirmed hits on enrichment sites at Natanz and Fordo. Iranian jets scrambled and Iran fired Fatah-2 ballistic missiles at up to Mach 12. Iran says the hypersonic glide vehicle can evade interception. U.S. President Trump attended an emergency National Security Council meeting on 13th June U.S. time after Israel's strike on Iran. Trump has not issued an official comment, but earlier urged Israeli restraint, saying any strike would not involve U.S. forces. U.S. intelligence had warned since May 2025 that Israel might hit key Iranian nuclear sites this year. Netanyahu has long favored the military option. Intelligence says Israel aims to exploit damage from strikes on Iran's missile production and air defense sites in October 2024 and may seek regime change in Tehran. Israel views Iran as an existential threat given Tehran's refusal to recognize Israel and suspected nuclear ambitions. The two have fought a shadow war for decades through proxies. Iran backs groups confronting Israel such as Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. Since the Gaza conflict erupted, these groups have stepped up attacks in solidarity with Palestinians. At home, Netanyahu faces turmoil. A new conscription bill is fiercely opposed, and the Knesset even debated dissolving itself, a move polls suggest could cost Netanyahu power. But on 11th June, lawmakers rejected dissolution, giving him more time. On 12th June, the International Atomic Energy Agency passed a resolution saying Iran violated non-proliferation obligations. Iran responded that it would accelerate nuclear activity and had no choice but to retaliate, while insisting its program is peaceful.